Hello and good morning, FKA listeners. Attention, FKA listeners. And then we're now pausing so you can take their CD out and flip it over. This is the FKA podcast. I'm your host, Reed Wilson, joined by Seth Butler. We're both running down a dream on this Monday morning. How are you feeling after this last one?
I like it. It's kind of like we're doing a radio thing and referencing songs and stuff. It's been a dog day afternoon. Is that a song?
The dog days are over now as we bring you into the morning's broadcast, and now we turn it over to Sky 5 with the fucking traffic. Oh, man, we're starting off hot. So just like this, where we're going, we got no roads on this podcast. Real loose function. Nobody would come here prepared with like a slick little game or trivia thing and whatnot. Nope, we got nothing. This is us. We got our extra stuff, and we're just kind of going. It's a 2-man. Tightly knit podcast.
Yeah.
But we want to say shout out to one of our fans who let us know that our president's episode helped them at their trivia night. So throughout the show, I'm going to chime in with some of the worst game show answers ever, according to Reader's Digest, and also I have a list of the best trivia answers via Parade.com. So every once in a while, I'll throw one of those in there. And you can guess which one is which, but use it as a little bit of like a flashcard for your next trivia session. What's a little tiny piece at the end of your shoelace called?
It's called an aglet.
Yeah, shout out Phineas. That's what's up. Yep. So that you gotta figure that out. That's gonna happen. We're gonna talk about Dave and Buster's. We're gonna talk about coffee.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Seth talk at some point too. It'll be great.
This one might just be a Reed episode. Yeah. Hey, I was looking at something. I don't know what, the context would be helpful here. But anyway, aglet is a word that is very specific, but I heard it in a different context recently too, where it was like, it's not applied to a shoelace. Maybe it's like some other kind of
different rope.
Yeah, I think it was some other kind of rope or ribbon or string or something.
When was the last time you interacted with rope? Like it's probably been like a good couple months since I touched rope, because there's rope at my gym. I do little battle ropes every once in a while.
Well, yeah, last time I interacted with a rope, there are some. There are some rope-based like climbing and swinging things at the trampoline park that I go to on occasion. So like climbing up a rope swing or rope course or whatever at that trampoline thing is probably the last time, but that's been months. But I did
swung off a rope that's attached to a tree and landed in a lake. You ever did that? Like
plenty of times. Yeah.
Okay. How good does that feel? I've never been able to pull that off.
Why?
Either situations never met the opportunity never really presented itself.
Yeah.
I never never got the form down.
Yeah. Well, it does kind of stink. Like, so I used to go to summer camp and they had one of those. Like there's the pool. And like you'd rotate through these activities throughout the day. The pool kind of blows because there's nothing to do there. They have like basketball hoops, so you can play like pool basketball or whatever. But the pool kind of sucks. But everybody wanted to go to the river because they had like a big slide into the river, which is pretty tight, and they had a rope swing. But it did kind of suck. Like I feel like the first year I went there, I was like 5 or whatever, and I didn't have the upper body strength even to hold up like my little tiny 5-year-old body. So I would just like jump and I try to hold on to the rope, but I would just like fall. So, and I haven't done one in a long time, so I hope I could hold on to it. But yeah, if you're able to get to the end and there's like a shift in your gravity and you start to like tilt back, and that's when you let go, it's pretty cool. The rope swing. I would encourage you to find one.
Find one. Gotcha. Find a rope. Swing from it.
And there was also, I'm from, middle America. And sometimes I think
you're from the South, bro. You're from the South. What are you talking about, middle America? You're from Tennessee. Don't be trying to get away with middle America. I'm middle America. Bro, don't be appropriating my culture, bro. You ain't got no Iowa nice. You're in the Minnesota nice. Okay.
There was this place, and it was called Fly Tennessee, FLY
Hmm.
Tennessee, and they had
And it's
like
a fly fishing store, I assume.
no, it's like a town. It has like I don't
Oh,
know how many people live there or whatever. This is kind of muddled in my brain. I think I went to this place twice. But what they have is they have this little river that has its own rope swing. And right next to the river, there's like this, it's like it looks like the Cracker Barrel, but like it's not the Cracker Barrel. It just looks
mhm.
like that, because that's like the type of place this is. And so my
Yeah,
mom took us there a
it's the
couple
biscuit
times.
crate.
And you're just like swinging off the rope swing, and then you put your shirt back on, you go in there and get like a fried bologna sandwich or
You
whatever.
get some
And that
spiced pears.
yeah, and that's probably the most, not maybe not middle America, but the most southern experience I've had is going to that little watering hole and eating a fried bologna sandwich or whatever.
Fried bologna sandwich sounds like is it they just like they're cooking the bologna? It's like a grilled cheese with bologna, and like they're flat top grilling the bologna, or like they deep
Yeah.
frying this sandwich.
The bologna is like pan fried. So you put in it's probably more correctly called like a sautéed bologna sandwich or whatever.
Okay, it's kind of like spam. They're treating
Yeah.
bologna like spam because I don't think they're
Yeah,
much
yeah, yeah, yeah.
different. That's
No,
that's
no, I
good.
don't think so.
I had a Jimmy John sandwich the other day, and I lost some of that Jimmy John sandwich, to say the least. I might be off cold sandwiches for the foreseeable future. I might be out of sandwiches. No more lunch meat, I think, until the third quarter. I think maybe the
Our
fourth
quota
quarter.
for Q2 is up.
Yeah, my Q2 white bread and ham quota is filled.
Yeah.
Can't be
Yeah.
no processed meat product. Like you're off that completely.
I
Now,
am. No processed meat
no
product for
bologna
me.
sandwich. You'll never have that deep fried bologna sandwich. Just sauteed bologna again. You just have to
Yeah.
be rope swinging with nothing.
Yeah, rope swinging and going in there and getting a bag of chips or whatever. That's all they had for me.
I think my most like Midwestern thing is like related to camp. Up at camp, it was like a sleepaway camp for 2 weeks, right? So in
Yeah.
between, you go to town and you have to like wash your clothes and whatever because you're not going to bring 2 weeks worth of clothes. You just bring a week's worth of clothes and wash it, right? So you go up and you go out to Antigo, Wisconsin, and which is in the middle of nowhere, right? Basically Michigan. And you wash your clothes and then you get cheese curds at Culver's. Like that's just the most Wisconsin thing. You just get some Culver's. Now Culver's everywhere, so you can get a little taste of those Wisconsin for you. But that or going to the Brat Stop. That's
The
another one.
Brat Stop.
Yeah, the Brat Stop. It's
Oh
pretty good.
man.
It's pretty close to the Mars Cheese Castle, just as
Yeah.
you cross over Wisconsin. Great place.
Huh.
Speaking of great places,
Yeah.
you ever heard of Dave and Buster's? Pretty great place.
Yeah, I've heard of Dave and Buster's. I've never actually been, but it does seem like a place that I would enjoy.
So it's basically Chuck E. Cheese and Buffalo Wild Wings at the same time, but we'll look to the gripes a little bit later because I went to one like a month ago or two, but they're in the news right now. It's an arcade. You can go play arcade games, and you could also
Yeah.
watch sports and drink beer and whatnot. And they're in the news because they're now playing with the idea of being able to bet on the arcade games that are going on in at the Dave and Buster's. So
Okay, so this is not I'm betting on my own performance. It's I'm betting on there are these two people who are playing Golden Tee against each other, and I can bet on them.
yeah, I think you might be able to bet on yourself too. I don't know why that would be excluded. Unless you're
Because I
betting
guess you
that.
could
Well, I
throw the
guess,
game, but like if you're only allowed to bet that you're going to do well, then I think that that's fine.
yeah, I think there'll be limitations on it. Little
Yeah.
geolocation tracker, make sure you're inside the DB when you're doing that. So I got a couple. This is what went across my mind because
Okay.
I'm gonna take a look. We're look at the prices, right? One of playing because you haven't been to a DB in a
No, I
minute, you
haven't.
said, or ever, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through like how much it even costs to play those games because not cheap, bro. It's like if you want to get 75 chips in each game on like half price night, it costs like 3 or 5 chips. Like most of them are
Yeah.
3 or 5. So mostly they're like 6 or 10 chips. So
Okay.
it's $15 for 75 chips or 100 chips for 20.
Yeah.
So these chips are expensive games in the first place, and you can gamble on top of them. So that's
Yeah.
how much it costs. I want to know what games we're picking. Like,
Mm.
do
Okay.
you think like the games that like, accrue a lot of tickets would also be prime for gambling? You know, your
Yeah.
ranking games. Like you might not want to play this one or bet on this one, but you could see it being lucrative. And then you're gonna spin it off into tickets. And then also when you go to an arcade, or when you went to an arcade, when you went to like a Chuck E. Cheese, or,
Yeah.
Dino Rex or something like that. What prize were you shooting for? We'll start with that one. What prizes were you trying to get? You're at the carnival or the arcade, or you're at the
Yeah.
arcade, not the carnival. Carnival, you're going for stuffed animals or goldfish almost exclusively. But like maybe a little mini bike, but like arcade a little bit different. They got everything at the arcade. They got candles,
Yeah.
like
It's true.
candies. They got game consoles. Where are you shooting? What are you
Yeah.
shooting for?
So if you go to Chuck E. Cheese, which I did a time or two
Mhm.
in my time,
Or
turning
two.
5 to 10, and
Mhm.
my friends turning 5 to 10, which I think was like prime time to drive 35 minutes to the closest Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh yeah, the South rising again, and ruining my relatable stories here.
No, I went to Chuck E. Cheese a bunch, but yeah, it was we did have to drive to Civilization to get there. But I at a pretty young age was already disinterested with the fake vampire teeth and the little candies and stuff, because like I
Mhm.
had eaten a bunch of pizza, right? I don't need to get your Tootsie Rolls or whatever. So I don't want that. I don't want a little fake spider. That was like a big one too. Like just whatever you can make out of really cheap plastic, which is like vampire teeth, the little spiders,
And the sticky
whatever.
hand, figgy traps. Finger traps
Yes.
kind of good. Finger traps the best worst thing, I think.
That's the best 5 ticket purchase
Yeah,
is the
because
Chinese finger trap.
yeah, that's hilarious. You can't figure it out. It's a good time.
And so maybe like one step up from that is like, deck of cards, keychain, uh
45 Tootsie Rolls.
yeah, the big pack of Tootsie Rolls.
It's like a
The big
shitty
pack of
airhead.
sticky hands.
Yeah,
The
there was like
slightly better candies, because you can get one Tootsie Roll for one ticket or whatever, but you can get like, a full size Crunch Bar for like 100 tickets or whatever.
back in the day. There was this like it was kind of like a Newton's cradle, but it had these dolphins, and they would go like maybe around in a circle.
Yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen that.
That was a prize I always wanted when I went to Chuck E. Cheese. Like I was like, I'm gonna get that. Never got it, but like I really wanted it for a long time. And
Yeah.
then I met a dolphin, and I was like, I'm kind of good. I'm kind of good on dolphins. I met one. I don't need to go crazy about them anymore.
Yeah. So I mean, I would like, I think I recognized like, oh, a lot of this stuff is just crap. What I want is if they have a Nerf gun,
Mm.
that's something I want. A lot of them had like a bad, like cheap electric guitar, which is something that I kind of wanted. And my parents eventually got me an electric guitar that I didn't really ever play. They sent me to lessons for a while. Maybe it was because I was like, I want that electric guitar at Chuck E. Cheese. Um, they would also, yeah, sometimes have like an Xbox, but that's like very, very, very expensive. But it was probably like I wanted the Xbox, or
Yeah.
I wanted the expensive stuff, which is, I
The
guess, the way that I'm supposed to
That's something
feel.
everyone wants. Yeah. So my buddies, I went to Dave and Buster's like a month ago or whatever, as I said, and I'm just like, I don't know. I've been to Dave and Buster's a handful of times in my
Yeah.
life. My friends, apparently, I didn't know this. They're fucking Dave and Buster's diehards, and they've got loaded on their account like hundreds of dollars worth of chips. So apparently they're regulars, and like
Wow.
both of them were like, "Yeah, got a Nintendo Switch at this one." Like, yeah, I'm saving up for the PlayStation 5. I'm at like 20,000 chips or whatever, and I'm like, bro,
Wow.
I spent 100. I spent not 100. I spent like $25 on chips for my
Yeah.
one time there, and I
Yeah.
left with enough to get like 2 pieces of candy. Like I left with nothing.
Yeah, I think actually buying the Nintendo Switch from Dave and Buster's is like, instead of paying $200 or $250 for your Nintendo Switch, now that it's 2024, I paid $500 for a Nintendo Switch with like 2 games back during COVID times, because
Damn.
there was like a shortage of them. But if you bought one today, like, I don't think it's that expensive. But it's basically just like an extra tax on top of buying the Nintendo Switch because you get to do it in a fun way, but you're just making it more expensive to buy it. Like, you're just reducing your buying power by turning it into coins and then turning it into tickets. So
Yeah, $250 on a Nintendo Switch, or months at a time going to David Buster's every Wednesday, every once in a while, and getting
yeah,
that. But they're like my buddies. I would bet on them because they're min maxing the games. Like they're
ooh,
going.
that's good.
He's
Yeah,
like they're going around. They're only playing the ones that are like have attainable high scores and pick ticket payouts. So like they were ahead of the game on this paying thing because and they're just smacking easy high scores 900 tokens for
wow,
tickets added in my account. And then there was other people who were spending hours. They were there for like 4 hours playing one of those little coin pusher games where like I don't know, it pushes the coins to
yeah,
the end of the thing, and like you're just kind of waiting for it to fall. They had, and this thing was would stack them up. It's like an Angry Birds one. They played
yeah.
this Angry Birds pachinko coin pusher game for 4 or 5 hours, and like they didn't even knock the chip thing over. I'm like, this is the worst. This is the worst shit ever. It kind of same thing that like the slot machines don't really translate over to me because
Yeah.
like I don't know. I could just play Xbox. I could just like play Halo. Like I
Yeah,
could.
and then it's like you might have to pay, $50 for the game or $10 a month for Game Pass, but you're not sitting there losing money every time you play. That's like what a slot machine is. It's just like a way to
Yeah.
lose money, I
That
guess.
that being
But
said, I did spend the majority of my time when I was at Dave and Buster's. I had a pachinko machine, so maybe maybe I'm not better than what I'm saying I
yeah,
am. But
yeah,
like over unders on skee ball, fire. Over unders on like
yeah,
who's gonna win this fighting game? Who's gonna get the highest score on DDR? Like plus 10,000.
yeah.
You know,
DDR would be a fun one to bet on because, like, I could see there being some different odds for different types of music. I think a lot of it is J-pop, K-pop adjacent, like very kawaii. But yeah, what if somebody mixes in something different there, and one of the players
mm,
isn't ready for it? I think that like they've got the Mario Karts now, which is like a different arcade mode of Mario Kart that's different from the one that's on the Nintendo Switch or the Wii or whatever, because it's got some different stuff. So that could be cool too. I don't know that much
yeah,
about the
yeah.
meta for
I
arcade Mario Kart.
no humans in the top three.
Yeah.
Give me that. Give me that one.
Yeah, I want to be able to bet on the computer to beat people. One of the other popular ones is like they've got a whole bunch of like shooting ones. So they've got like a Halo brand one, they've got like a Tomb Raider one, they've got a Jurassic Park one where you're driving around in a Jeep and you're shooting like dinosaurs. The Jurassic Park one, it's like supposed to look like you're shooting them with a tranquilizer gun because you're not to get around some PETA stuff probably. Um, which is kind of funny. And so you don't actually kill them; they just like go to sleep, and then they have little like snoring bubbles that come out of their nose. But I think some of those would be cool too, for some hand-eye coordination, getting to shooting the guns right. I don't think I'm particularly good at that, but like if there were some people who were really good, that'd be cool.
This is information I think, this is from VG247.com, top highest grossing arcade games of all time. Not really what I wanted necessarily because I wanted it to,
Yeah,
yeah, I wanted like the ones that are at Dave and Buster's and like, that like, oh, like skee ball, or in like, the one where you shoot the basketball. It's like what that one. Not what I got.
yeah.
Pac-Man though, one of the highest, they got Pac-Man listed as their highest generated game cabinet with 400,000 units sold. You can take that one to the trivia bank and load that one in. But yeah,
uh,
Dave and Buster's, you
well,
can gamble on this stuff. You could also gamble on. We might also just be there to gamble on sports. So we'll see how that goes. I
well,
probably
I turned up. I just typed in best Dave and Buster's games. And it's kind of funny because like the first thing that came up was a Dave and Buster's Reddit post on the Dave and Buster's Reddit, and it's about decent yield games. So there's like a whole community of people out there who are trying to game the system and figure out how to get the most tokens or whatever. And he's this guy specifically mentions Monster Ball Drop, Jumpin' Jackpot, Pop the Lock are his top 3 there. So check those out.
You can
And
pay
one thing,
tickets. You can just buy
sorry?
tickets. You can buy tickets at a conversion rate of 100 tickets for $2.
So how does that translate to a Nintendo Switch, you think?
A lot of them. You need a lot of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention is like all of these systems, like the one we have here, the closest arcade is at the bowling alley Bolero.
Mm-hmm.
And all this stuff, I'm sure it's the same at Dave & Buster's. It's set up on a card, and your card has your tokens, which buy you the games, and the tickets you get from the games.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes away like my favorite part of Chuck E. Cheese when I was a kid was you're carrying around these big chains of tickets, and you get to feed it into a machine, and the machine is shaped like, it's not Grimace, but it's Grimace-like. It's like this big purple monster, and it makes like a chomping noise when you feed it, and it counts up the things, and it prints out a little receipt, and you just take that receipt over to the ticket counter. So there's no more big purple Grimace monster eating your tickets anymore, which is sad.
Yeah, you just use your phone and you just tap to pay on all the little things. That's what I did. I didn't even get a card. I was just Apple Walleting my shit, so I could pull up an Face ID every time I want to reload the pachinko.
Dude, I can just imagine like kids today, right? They're going to Chuck E. Cheese and they're trying to like slyly get more tickets from their parents, and they just like pick up the phone and like show their parents' face to like authorize the purchase of more tickets or whatever. That's so funny.
That I'd beat, myself up for that one if that kid got away with that. That's for sure. This is a Reddit post I got. I'm an arcade game expert. This is from 13 years ago, so take it with
Wow.
I've earned over 2.5 million tickets at Dave & Buster's AMA about beating arcade games and turning a profit for them.
Okay.
So apparently they got these guys got progressive win jackpots on there. That's insane. Yeah, so that if you want your research to get up there on the grinding, get in on it. You got it. It's available if you want. Play skee ball.
Yeah.
You get a lot of coin pusher, zombie snatcher, tower of tickets, Crossy Road. Crossy Road is just a fun one. I always
Crossy Road is fun.
I like Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man to be. They got Pac-Man Battle Royale. Good for fun, bad for tickets. So think about it this way: the more fun you can have playing the game, the less tickets you're gonna get. So look for the most boring game you can find, and that's where you're gonna get your tickets.
Yeah. There was this speaking of Nintendo Switches, they probably have a new version of this, but there was this game for the Nintendo Wii. It was just called Carnival Games. Did you ever play this?
Yeah, I owned that.
That game was so like, I never had it, and if I owned the game, maybe it would have been less cool, but I played it like at my friend's house. But it's just like, it's like Wii Sports, but it's like, instead of playing, golf, you're playing ring toss and horseshoes and like whatever, the one where you shoot the water gun to fill up the balloons or whatever. And like for every game you played, you earned tickets that you could buy like whatever prizes in the game. And I thought that was so cool, this game, when I was like 8. But
apparently there's a new one on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch called Carnival Games.
Maybe I'll get it.
I want to see what games I had. I had this one, I'm pretty sure, and I don't think I didn't really vibe with it. I didn't like the art style of the guys on there.
Yeah,
I was kind of out. Like, bring me back to Wii Sports Resort. Give me back to the island. Woohoo,
dude! Wii Sports Woohoo Island. Oh man, they should do Carnival Games set in Woohoo Island.
Yeah, but Nintendo shouldn't make it because they can't make anything good anymore. It's all shit. cash grab stuff.
I have Switch Sports, which I haven't played that much of, but I think they've changed like they should have put it on Woohoo Island again. I don't think it is. I think it's a little too modern and weird.
Yeah, it's missing some of the charm because the Mii's aren't really a thing on the Switch.
Yeah.
There's no Mitches. There's no Meeches going around. You got nothing. You can still make a Mii, but it doesn't really make sense because you're playing on the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. The Mii that was a time to be alive. I mean, and the songs were so good on the Wii.
Slap. The Wii was the best console, except for the fact that it wasn't, but it is,
If you're trying to play like a real game on the Wii, like it kind of sucks.
Sucks big time. But
I
if you're
think
trying
it's
to like
yeah.
play with your friends, like and not be like a nerd, it's a good system to make.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of funny too, because like you could see how much like their software kind of or their hardware kind of sucked, because for Wii Sports Resort you had to get different Wii remotes. You had to get like a special attachment for your Wii remote because they're like, actually this thing kind of sucks, so we need to upgrade its capabilities so you can fly this little plane around the island or whatever. You got to plug this extra dongle.
And also, they break
it.
a little to easily, so we give you this weird fucking glove that you could put on it.
Yeah, it's like, here's your Wii remote, but you got to put this condom thing on it, and then also you're gonna have to attach some different stuff to it to make it work.
And it also sucks every time you got to change the batteries to take it off and put it back on. So you're gonna take it off and never put it back on because it looks stupid anyway.
And it's covered in all your Cheeto dust from your 8-year-old hands.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Speaking of gross, you had a coffee segment you wanted to get into. Hey,
yeah. So that was nice. That was nice. It is gross. I don't know if that was just a guess. I guess if I had a coffee segment, it's probably going to be about something weird and gross rather than something like.
New coffee's been found. They found a new coffee bean, and now it's got 2 times the caffeine in it.
Yeah. So there's a new this started in China. This new trend, and basically, I'm not going to tell you what the addition is, but it's basically like you're making all of the same coffee drinks as we were before, but we're adding one ingredient to it.
Okay.
And I want to ask you, do you have some initial guesses to what that ingredient could be? We're in China.
Soda water.
Okay.
No. Is it a liquid?
It's not a liquid. No.
Okay. Is it a syrup?
It's not a syrup. No.
So it's like a ingredient. Okay.
It's used commonly in Chinese cuisine, I would say.
Oh, peppercorn. Putting pepper in it.
No.
Green bean.
It's green.
Okay. Is it tea? Tea in the coffee?
It's tea in the coffee. It's green onion.
Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. That's not good. That's weird as hell. They putting the top parts in there?
Yeah. The top parts.
Put it on there like they would a taco. They're putting it on their thing. That's not it. Do it with mint or something. Get a different herb.
I think mint could be good. They're probably doing that somewhere. This is from mustsharenews.com, which is everybody's favorite news source. But I have seen this on TikTok and Twitter and stuff. New viral trend in China shows coffee being made with spring onions. They say in recent years, there's been a wave of specialty coffee trends in China, ranging from coffee-infused rice, oyster coffee, and soy sauce lattes. But now a new Scallion latte has gained popularity online, sparking discussions on whether this is a suitable ingredient and whether it would ruin the drink.
All of those are bad ideas. A soy sauce latte, not good. Like if soy sauce on its own, unbearable. And I'm coming into this hating on it. I think that's kind of maybe that's because I'm a Westerner,
Yeah,
from the heartland,
You're from Middle America. Yeah. So what it looks like is they're making just whatever the coffee drink is. There's and it's a lot of spring onion that they're using too in these things. So they've got a quarter of a cup of spring onions at the bottom of your venti Starbucks cup. You put your drink in it, and then you top it with spring onions as well.
And it's coffee in there.
It's coffee.
Not like soup. They're not. It's not. You're not getting like a soup latte.
No,
Uh,
no. It's like, yeah, it could be milk with espresso mixed in for a latte. It could just be drip coffee. Could be a cold brew.
can I get a venti caramel whip? 2 pumps of 2 pumps of caramel, one extra double shot, and then add a pound of scallions to it,
Yeah, let
please.
me get the scallion cream cheese on top of that, please.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Um, so that's
Have you
I
tried it?
don't know. No, I would try it. Yes. Would you
Would you
try it?
would you drink it? Maybe. Would you drink it? I'm drinking more coffee now that I'm a working man again, and they have
Mm,
coffee for free at the office. I was changing up. They got this little automated coffee machine where you rip open a little packet, and then you put it in there, and it dispenses your cup of coffee. Really good for the environment for sure. But like, it makes my little coffee. I was
yeah.
going through them. I think I found one I'm liking. It's got like a vanilla hint to it. Though
Okay.
I've changed my coffee drinking ways. I used to be a coffee over ice, pounded immediately, coffee black kind of guy.
Yeah.
Now I'm a two creams, one sugar or sugar substitute. I'll usually Splenda if I'm gonna pick a not sugar. I go with a Splenda and
Yeah.
go in that one, and it's pretty sweet, but it also cools the shit down. So I'm kind of in on coffee, but also doesn't taste that good. Like I'm just adding sugar and cream into it to make it taste better. So maybe scallions would also taste terrible. There's no way I could see that being good because like, you add scallions to something, you're gonna taste them.
Yeah.
Like especially if it's a liquid thing. Like you put them on a taco, you're gonna taste it. You put it on top of your little rice bowl, gonna taste them. You put it in soup, elevates the soup, tastes a little bit like green onion. I don't know if I what's it do for me? Like
It doesn't say on this article at least. I don't know because like if you drink a black coffee,
mhm.
your flavor profile is bitter. I don't know what the flavor profile really of a spring onion is because like
Well,
all I can think of it tastes like onion.
yeah, I'm trying to. It's an allium, so like I'm just trying to figure out what it's actually.
Yeah.
What they're kind of fat. Like they're just sugary. Like onions, kind of sugary. Like if you cook an onion out, it gets like a lot of sugar in it.
It seems like though that like most of the stuff that you're adding to coffee normally is supposed to make it less bitter. So like you add cream or milk or whatever to make the bitterness less, and you add sugar to add a little sweetness too. So I don't think it would help with either of those things that coffee normally is paired with. So I don't know.
Maybe it just makes it a little fresh. Makes it feel fresh in
It
there.
could. Yeah, and I would definitely try it. So Starbucks recently, I don't know if we're, supposed to be drinking from Starbucks
Probably not.
currently.
I guess.
Probably not. But they've recently been doing their oleato, which
Oh,
is they're putting olive oil in the coffee. And again,
no
I
way
don't really
it's
know
good.
what that's supposed to do. Um,
Probably the same as putting olive oil in your water when you're cooking pasta. That's fucking nothing.
I think for coffee, like I think it would just be separate from the coffee, and so you'd have this weird layer of olive oil on top, right?
Or even worse, you just have multiple small little droplets of olive oil,
Oh,
and they don't pull it together and make one big droplet. You just have like a bunch of small droplets all on their own at the top
yeah.
of your thing because that's just not going to mix. Like at
No.
different temperatures, you're not. It's no way they're shaking it up. That shit's not incorporated.
Well,
You're
the spring onions too, they're just all going to float to the top. So even though you put them in the bottom and then top it with them, I don't think you need to top it with them because they're just all float, right?
It's gonna get in the whipped cream. Like it's gonna taste weird. Dude, would you add? Well, I guess it's like a similar. Would you put whipped cream on like anything that's savory? Would you put like whipped cream on top of like your spaghetti, or like you get like a taco? Would you put whipped cream on it? Like I'm just trying. We'll take the coffee thing and put it on another thing. Like would you
Yeah.
would you would you pump caramel onto your pizza?
I think whipped cream is not bad. I think I might put whipped cream on some weird stuff because it does have a sweetness, but it's not. I wouldn't pump a caramel syrup on anything, but a whipped cream maybe. I don't know. I didn't think about that more.
Yeah, I mean, maybe try eating onions. Put your scallions on stuff. They just ruin your breath. That's really what it's gonna do. Like coffee can already make your breath smell bad, but if you got coffee and onions at the same time, you're making maybe they cancel each other out. It's a double negative on oppressive sense. And you got good aroma echoing out of your mouth hole.
Yeah. Well, I found this article. This is from the Black Cab Coffee Company, which is apparently a coffee roastery in London. And this just has 5 unusual coffee pairings.
Okay.
I thought I'd tell you a little bit about this. So we've discussed a little bit about the Oleato, which is like a new thing at Starbucks. We talked about the spring onion coffee situation that they're doing
at China Bucks.
Yeah. One of these is butter coffee, which you might have heard referred to as bulletproof coffee.
Yeah, bulletproof coffee. You put it in the beer. It's all right.
You've had this before?
I tried it. It didn't really do anything. Like I think cream works out better. It's kind of a weird.
So this says, yes, butter comes from milk, and we do put milk in coffee, but is there a good reason to put butter in coffee? It says, well, maybe. Coffee as a health product can lead people and coffee itself down some interesting avenues. Green coffee for slimming, coffee enemas for well-being. While some of these practices should not be taken on without medical advice, bulletproof coffee is one coffee health craze which could not possibly go wrong. Bulletproof coffee was designed for those following a keto diet, is made by adding butter and MST oil from coconuts to enrich your coffee into a nourishing treat. It is said to enhance the beneficial effects of coffee, keeping you alert and staving off hunger through the first part of the day. Apparently,
is caffeine lipid soluble or something? Like why?
I think just having the fat of the butter is supposed to make you feel full, so you're able to like go without solid food for longer.
You also broke your fast by ingesting butter. So
yeah, the coffee's fine. Coffee's like 5 calories or
nothing.
whatever.
Yeah, that's not going to turn anything on. But like the butter will, because a pat of butter is like 80, at least 80.
I guess it depends on how much butter you use. But yeah, if you're using like a sliver of butter, I don't think that matters. But if you're using enough butter to matter, then I think it does matter.
Let's have mayo on this list. That's what Will Levis does.
Will Levis of the Tennessee Titans?
Yeah, of your Tennessee Titans. Your Middle American Tennessee Titans.
That's true. Yeah. No, it doesn't have mayo, but that was something I was thinking of when you were talking about whipped cream. I was like, where do I use mayo? On a sandwich.
That's about it.
Put mayo in for whipped cream. I don't know. Who knows?
Sandwich and potato salad. And salad that's not actually salad.
Yeah.
How the fuck we get away with that? Wait, what's number 4 then? Because I've seen the butter. That's palatable. People can get by that.
Yeah. The next one is mushroom coffee, which I think is a big like Joe Rogan, who's the Huberman guy, who people are listening to these days.
So is that coffee made out of mushrooms, or is that coffee with mushrooms in it? Also,
we are not talking about adding field mushrooms into your cappuccino. It's only certain mushrooms revered for their health-giving properties like chaga, reishi, lion's manes, and cordyceps. They are dried, ground up.
You're not gonna catch me eating cordyceps, bro. Get the fuck out of here.
They have horrible PR after the video game and the TV show.
The hit HBO show, The Last of Us, season 2 coming soon-ish.
But apparently, so you dry up the mushrooms, you grind them up, and then you add them to coffee. So I don't know if they're in your K-cup or if they're in your coffee that you put. If you drip through them or if you add them afterwards
and stir it in.
Yeah,
interesting. I've gotten ads for mushroom coffee. I think it's definitely podcast material, but I think it's kind of everywhere podcast material. On some of the liberal podcasts I listened to for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like actually liberal, so like center people, not like progressive. But anyway, yeah, that's weird. Shout out. Also, they sell that fucking cereal, that shitty cereal, the Noom or whatever. Like there's like a cereal that's like real healthy. Don't put cereal in your coffee. That's not good either. What's number 3? I think mushroom coffee, passable. People putting mushrooms in everything. Probably put bone broth in your coffee too if you want it.
Yeah. The next one you already mentioned this a little bit is tonic. So I've had a coffee tonic thing before from a coffee shop here in town, which I kind of liked. It's very bitter because you're not
Yeah,
adding anything to
that's
make
got to
it
be
sweeter.
crazy. This got to taste so bad. Like there's like I I I'm okay with the bitter taste of coffee. I'm expecting that, but like, dude, I'll never accept tonic water as a flavor. It just tastes like pipes. Like it tastes so bad. Like if you mix coffee, which could be pretty bad. Like if you like burn it, like if you got like a S Bucks, right, and then you get their shitty
Yeah.
burnt Pike's Place roast, and you put tonic water in there, some Schweppes, I would die. I think that's like my kryptonite liquid. Like I don't know if I could handle that.
Oh man, that's funny.
But you
Yeah.
liked it. I'm glad you're in on it. I don't
Well,
know if that,
yeah. It's like it's very much like I got it like because they do it with cold brew or you could do it with espresso, but it's like served cold over ice or whatever. Um, and so I the time I got it, it was like last summer. It was on a hot day, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna get this because it's gonna be refreshing, and it's like gonna be nice for like sitting outside or walking around outside and stuff. But it's like so bitter you can't drink it fast, so it's like the iced coffee or whatever loses all its refreshing qualities because you have to like take one sip and then you can't take another sip for like 5 minutes because it's so
because it's bad. Your body thinks
yeah
it's poison.
yeah.
Your body's actively saying, "Don't drink this," and then
Yeah.
then you do. You don't think it could be like that, but it does. But it do.
I think that I don't know. I think the word bitter has
Hardly know her.
yeah. I don't think we got a single one of those on the last episode. So good thing we got one here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting because like I feel like that has a bad connotation. Something like sweet has a good connotation. I wonder if that's
Well, but things can be too sweet, you know.
right. They can.
But people never be like, you know what? This could be more bitter. No one ever says that.
Yeah, nobody ever says that.
They're always like, everybody like, this could be a little bit sweeter. Like this could be bitterer. Like nah.
When's the first time in your life, Reed, where you ate something and were like, "Ooh, this is too rich"?
Dude. I mean, I've had that. I've definitely had that feeling. Like I'm trying to a specific time though. So I mean, I've been hit with something that's got too much umami in it, you know, and
Okay.
that's a lot. Like you get like a
I'm more
real.
talking about like for like a dessert. Has this happened to you before? Where you're
Oh
like, "Ooh,
yeah,
this
like
is
this is too sweet for me, or like it's too rich. It's like it's too heavy,
yeah,
like a bread pudding, or like a not a like a lava cake, or some kind of like warm cake
yeah."
type thing. Cakes usually end up being too rich for me,
I was just
or like
wondering
a
because
custard or something. Not like a
I think this is like a post 20 thing. Like I don't think I felt this way until I was 20. When I was a kid, I think I could eat whatever. I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is sweet. It's really sweet, but it's really good." But then you do get to a point where it's like, "Oh no, that's too sweet."
like I don't think we'd like Prime. Have you ever had Prime?
It doesn't have poison in it. You mean the energy drink thing?
The Logan Paul drink, yeah. There's a Gatorade competitor and an energy drink one, but apparently like it's like super sweet. It's kind of like melted popsicle, and like I don't know if I could do that. But like also I don't know how I feel about these fake sugars because I consume a lot of them, and like but like somehow Bang has no calories in it or whatever. Like I don't if that's still around. Like
Yeah.
and the Coke I had earlier is 0 calories too. It's like 5, but it's like I don't know. I think Wrench is new. I think that's in there. I think you definitely appreciate bitter more. Speaking of
Oh yeah,
appreciating
for sure.
bitter, I don't know what it is, but people have been trying to like PR spin or gentrify Brussels sprouts for too long. They're not good. They're bad. They're not good. They're bad. They'll never be good. Doesn't matter if you cook them in the oven with bacon or whatever. They stink. You cook them on the grill, still bad. They're still they taste like the bottom part of broccoli times 100. Like they're just not good. I'm
Hmm.
out. I can't get me to buy in on Brussels sprouts.
What if you put it in coffee?
Oh, you know what? Now turn it around. Put a little tonic water in there, and I'm sold.
Yeah. So no, we don't have that one on the list, but what we do have on the list, we've got two more. One of them is real, and one of them is just like it's the final one they have on this list, which is literally just like, oh, check out this wacky drink we offer at our cafe here in London.
Lame.
So I'm not going to read that last one. So this next one is our last one here.
And then we'll share the weirdest ones that we would consider possibly doing of our own creation.
Maybe. Yeah. So this it says is one of the weirdest ideas, not just in the world of coffee, but perhaps in all of the culinary world. Kopi Lawak or Civet coffee is sometimes known as crap coffee because it is just that. They feed this animal called the civet cat coffee cherries, and then this cat goes on to excrete the coffee beans because the bean is inside this like fruit.
It's cherry.
And so the cherry is digested by the cat, which then passes on the coffee bean, which is then washed, dried, and roasted. And
so it's kind of shit, but it's also not,
Yeah.
But it is.
So it says here there are two explanations for why people drink this. One is that these cats only eat certain cherries, so they pick the best cherries. So the coffee that they end up shitting out is the best coffee.
Punxsutawney Phil ass civets right here. Like, you Cajun, when you give them some cherries, you're gonna probably eat them all. Like it's bullshit.
The other is that the coffee cherries ferment while going through the cat's digestive tract. The coffee is said to be smoother and more refined than other types of coffee.
Cat is generous. They look like a raccoon.
Yeah, they're not very cat-like. A civet. It's Civet. If you want to Google it,
Civiticus civetta.
Yeah, these are the things they're pooping out coffee.
They're kind of big though. They're 7 to 20 kilos, which is like 40 pounds.
Yeah, how many K-cups you think you get from one BM here? But yeah, so people are doing weird stuff with coffee. I think people are like more open to doing weird stuff with coffee than with other food and drink for some reason. I think people are pretty open to having weird cocktails and pretty open to having weird cups of coffee. I don't know what that is, but I think people are more closed off for other stuff.
Yeah, people spend an extra $15 if you like light a piece of wood up and put it in their drink. Like if you light something on fire, put a little glass dome over it, people pay a surcharge for you to drink to taste bad. Like old fashioned to taste even worse.
It tastes like I'm drinking a bonfire.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I am a log cabin.
Yeah.
I am the 70s right now.
Did you have any trivia about coffee or cocktails or anything
I bet
like that?
Find one. Good. Thanks for keeping me honest here.
Yeah. Or carnival games. I don't know if we talked about carnival games trivia. Anything there?
I got. Oh yeah, here we go. Which only state in the United States that grows coffee beans?
Hawaii.
Yep. Okay. Well, what's the coffee shop named in Friends?
Central Park. All right. I'm killing it here.
Okay, somewhere between a coffee and a dessert, an affogato contains espresso poured over what other ingredient?
Ice cream.
Yeah, this just says gelato. So.
Okay, I think that's probably the real way to do it, but I think in the U.S. they're just using ice cream.
Yeah, affogato is probably my favorite dessert after an Italian meal. After an Italian meal, gotta have coffee. That's the only time there's only 2 times I want coffee. And that's if I'm after an Italian meal or I'm at like a diner and I'm getting breakfast. Then I want like 3 of those cups of coffee. I'm trying to get ahead of it because I'm eating a skillet. So I just got to get ahead of it.
You got to get that digestive system up and running.
Yep. Coffee was the first food to undergo what process for cold temperature long-term preservation? It's a little on there. Coffee was the first food to undergo what process for cold temperature long-term preservation?
Freeze drying.
Yeah, freeze drying.
Okay. Nice. This is good. This can be helpful to our people, I think. And they'll know about civets too. That's a big one.
Yeah. Name something you feel before you buy it.
Avocado.
Excited.
Wait, is that a trivia question?
That's number 1 on 23 of the most hilarious game show answers ever given.
Excited.
That's from Family Feud.
That's good. I like that.
Name something a burglar would not want to see when he breaks into a house.
I've seen this one. Naked grandma.
Naked grandma. During what month of pregnancy does a woman begin to look pregnant? Answer: September. Yeah, so
That's good.
Which one's the real answers and which ones are the fake ones?
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. September. Oh my god. Oh, and also happy May to all the listeners.
Justin Timberlake joke.
Yeah, insert the Justin Timberlake joke here. So, well, let us know. We're FK the Pod everywhere. You can email us fkthepod@gmail.com. You can follow us FK the Pod on X, on Threads, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Let us know if you tried any of these weird coffees. Let us know what your favorite carnival game is. Let us know if you'd bet on us.
You let us know if you're revenging today on the 6th.
Yeah. Let us know if you were the chosen one.
Yeah, what's your opinion on sand?
Let us know if you bet on the great Mos Eisley pod race of BBY
230. Give us your thesis on absolutes. Just hit us up and leave us a review and kind of comment. We're FKA the Pod. That's FKA the Pod everywhere. Thank you. Happy birthday. Merry Christmas. Happy non-denominational holiday. Thank you for listening to the FKA podcast. Follow us on Twitter at FKA the Pod.